Financial independence would mean that my children would be able to go to college if they wanted to. It would also mean for me that great big swimming pool in the backyard that I've always wanted, and to be totally out of debt.
Financial independence means having command of all the resources within oneself, as well as the resources that we see outside ourselves, finances and material.
Financial independence means to me that I can get the things that I've been wanting, like a new home, no more 9-to-5 job.
I think financial independence could give me the key to discovering so much more, and that would be a very special thing to accomplish.
Financial independence is a subject which almost everyone has thought about or dreamed about at one time or another. Yet, it is something which very few people ever attain. In fact, there have been numerous governmental and insurance company studies which indicate that only about 5% of the people ever achieve financial independence. On this tape, I'm going to discuss with you the primary reason why 95 out of every 100 people fail to become financially independent. Then I'm going to introduce you to a unique business opportunity which has the potential of bringing you all of the wealth, success, and independence that you desire. The primary reason why people fail to become financially independent is because, through no fault of their own, they were never introduced or exposed to the right financial vehicle. In our society, most people have been programmed from the day they were born to grow up, get a good education, find a job, and then work hard. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this course of action, and it is possible to live very comfortably on the earnings which a traditional type job generates. However, it is highly improbable that you will ever become financially independent. Think about this for a few seconds. How long would you have to work at your present job in order to get promoted to your boss's position? Maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe longer. And if you were successful in getting your boss's job, would you then be earning enough to consider yourself financially independent? Probably not. Now let's take it a step further. If you worked hard and got promoted to your boss's position, how much longer would you have to work in order to get your boss's job? Maybe another 5 years or longer. And if you did manage to get that position, would you then be earning enough to consider yourself financially independent? Well, you might be. But once again, probably not. The point which I'm trying to make is this. You can literally work yourself to death at most companies, and you still won't have much of a chance at achieving financial independence. In most companies, the only employees who ever make it big are a handful of top management people. And when you take into consideration the number of workers who are competing for these top management positions and the politics which are involved in climbing the corporate ladder, I think you will agree that your chances of success are pretty slim. Working for someone else is simply not the right financial vehicle. Sure, you can earn enough to live in a decent neighborhood and drive a late model car. But if you want more, if you want the really nice things in life, and even more importantly, if you want the freedom and the personal satisfaction which accompany financial success, you need to get into business for yourself. There are all types of businesses which you could get into. If you were to drive through your community or glance through the yellow pages, you would see dozens of different businesses which appear on the outside to be successful. But be careful. If you were to closely evaluate these businesses, I think you would find that the owners of many of these businesses are actually working more hours than you are. And many of them are earning considerably less money. That's right, less money. This may come as a surprise, but simply getting into business for yourself is not necessarily the right financial vehicle either. Some of you may have already found this out the hard way. If you want to achieve financial independence, you not only have to get into business for yourself, but most importantly, you have to get into the right type of business. What is the right type of business? As we look around at those who have acquired financial independence, we find that almost without exception, they have done it by using the same business principle. It's called duplication of your efforts. Do any of these names sound familiar to you? McDonald's, Photomat, H&R Block, Wendy's, Holiday Inn. Well, of course they do. Each of these companies have become huge successes using the principle of duplication. If you were to take the time and investigate how these companies got started, you would find that not one of them started out as a huge corporation. Rather, each of them started out as a single, successful, money-making business establishment. The owners of these businesses then realized that as long as they were in only one location, they could only be open so many hours in a day, and only so many people could come through their doors. Thus, no matter how successful this one business establishment became, their income potential would be limited, and it would be very difficult for them to achieve financial independence. What they needed was a way to duplicate their efforts. Therefore, each of these successful entrepreneurs called in outside investors and sold them the right to open up new business establishments using the same name and the same successful business formula which they had developed. In return, the investors agreed to pay them a percentage of the profits. This arrangement worked out very well for both parties. Since all of the bugs had been worked out of the businesses, the investors were virtually guaranteed a good return on their money. The original owners had successfully duplicated their efforts, and as you will see, this was just the beginning for both of them. Once the original investors had their businesses up and running, they realized that they could make money with just one establishment. But if they ever wanted to make it big, they too would have to duplicate their efforts. So what usually happened was this. The original investors went out and rounded up a second set of investors who opened up even more locations underneath them. And this second set of investors did the same thing. And before long, all across the country there were businesses using the same name and the same successful business formula. And each time a product is sold at one of these locations, several levels of investors are receiving a percentage of the profit. And the people that started it all have become very wealthy because they are receiving a percentage off of everything that is sold at every location. Just think about it. If you were receiving only a penny off of every hamburger that is sold at every McDonald's restaurant, what kind of money would you be making? Are you starting to understand the importance of duplicating your efforts? If you want to become financially independent, you have to get into a business which will allow you to do this. It doesn't have to be a restaurant or a motel or any of the businesses which we have mentioned, but it absolutely has to be one that allows you to duplicate your efforts. At this point, many of you are probably thinking, well, sure, I'd love to get into business for myself, especially one which would allow me to duplicate my efforts. And it is easy for you to sit there and tell me about it, but where am I going to get the $50,000 or $100,000 for the franchise fee? Or who is going to feed the kids for the next 5 years while the business is losing money? Or, well, it sounds good, but what if I invest my life savings into a business and for one reason or another it doesn't work out? Well, these are all valid objections, and I can understand the position which you may be in. But contrary to what you may have been led to believe, not all businesses require a huge cash investment, and not all businesses require a full-time commitment. The fact is, one of the most exciting, most lucrative, most duplicatable business opportunities available today can be started on a part-time basis with an initial investment of less than $200. That's right, part-time and less than a $200 investment. And if you are even halfway ambitious, and if you are willing to follow the simple step-by-step formula which we have developed, within a relatively short period of time, you can be at the head of a thriving business which will generate the kind of income which most people only dream about. The business opportunity which I am talking about is called multi-level marketing. What is multi-level marketing? Well, first of all, let's define marketing. Very simply, marketing is a method of moving merchandise from the manufacturer to the consumer. And basically, there are two types of marketing which most people are familiar with. The first and most common type of marketing is called retailing. Examples of retailing include grocery stores, gas stations, drugstores, restaurants, and department stores, and so on. The second method of marketing, which most people are familiar with, is called direct sales. Examples of direct sales include life insurance, vacuum cleaners, cosmetics, household items, and so on, that are marketed primarily through individual door-to-door contact or group parties. Multi-level marketing should not be confused with either retailing or direct sales, especially direct sales. Multi-level marketing is a distinct, relatively new method of marketing in which multiple levels of people participate in both the distribution of products and also in the profits. Multi-level marketing is growing at an astounding rate, and many experts are predicting that by the end of this decade, it will be the primary method of product distribution in this country. The reason multi-level marketing is becoming so popular is because it not only accomplishes the task of getting products from the manufacturer to the consumer, but it also allows people to get into business for themselves. And we are not talking about just any business. We are talking about a business which is so simple it can be started out of your home on a part-time basis, but yet a business which has the potential of generating a six-figure income within a relatively short period of time. Multi-level marketing is the financial vehicle which literally millions of people have been looking for. With multi-level marketing, you can achieve financial independence. At this point, the question which normally comes to mind is this: how can a business which can be started out of the home on a part-time basis with an initial investment of less than $200 be so profitable? The reason multi-level marketing is so profitable is because it is very highly duplicatable. Let me explain how it works. If you wanted to get started in multi-level marketing, you would first have to enroll as a distributor in an individual multi-level company and purchase what is called a starter kit. You would then be eligible to order that company's products at the wholesale distributor price, which is normally 25 to 50% below the suggested retail price. If you wanted to, you could resell the products for a profit, but many people in multi-level marketing don't concentrate on selling products. Many people simply buy the products at wholesale for their own personal use and develop a few regular customers who like to use the products, but for one reason or another are not interested in building a business. Now, don't get me wrong. You can earn a nice profit selling products, but that is not where the big money is at. The big money comes by duplicating your efforts. As a multi-level distributor, it is very simple to duplicate your efforts. All that you need to do is enroll additional multi-level distributors, and when these people buy products at the wholesale price, the company will pay you a percentage of the profits. It's one of the few business situations where everybody wins. The new distributor is getting products at wholesale and is saving money. The company is making money, and you will have successfully duplicated your efforts. Now, if multi-level marketing stopped here, you could make money in it. But it would not be all that profitable because the average family may only use $50 or $100 worth of products per month. Luckily, it doesn't stop here. When you enroll a new multi-level distributor, they are given the exact same opportunity which you were given, and they too will want to duplicate their efforts. And when one of your distributors enrolls an additional new distributor, your distributor will get a percentage of the profits. And once again, so will you. It's kind of like the business examples we mentioned earlier. Even though there may be several levels of people between you and some of your distributors, you will still get a percentage of the profits because you started it all. In a nutshell, that's how multi-level marketing works. It's very simple, it's very duplicatable, but most importantly, it's highly profitable. To give you an idea of just how profitable it can be, let's use our imagination for a second and say that you know two ambitious people who would like to become financially independent. If you enrolled both of these people as multi-level distributors, you would have two people on what we call your first level. If these two people were to do the same thing and both of them enrolled two distributors, you would then have 4 distributors on your second level. If these 4 second-level distributors each enrolled 2 people, you would then have 8 distributors on your third level. And if these 8 third-level distributors each enrolled 2 people, you would have 16 distributors on your fourth level. And if these 16 fourth-level distributors each enrolled 2 people, you would have 32 distributors on your 5th level. Now, if you were to add up the number of people on each level, you would come up with a total of 62 distributors in the first 5 levels. This means that by simply enrolling 2 ambitious people, you will have duplicated your efforts 62 times. That's not too bad, is it? Now let's take it a step further and say that you enrolled 4 first-level distributors and each of them did the same thing. You would now have 4 first-level distributors, 16 second-level distributors, 64 third-level distributors, 256 fourth-level distributors, and 1,024 fifth-level distributors, or a total of 1,364 distributors in the first 5 levels. Was it worth the effort to get the extra 2 people? You bet it was, because in this example, you will have duplicated your efforts over 1,300 times. You can enroll as many people as you want to, and so can the people which you enroll. Just think what could happen if you enrolled 6 people or 8 people or even 10 people, and each of them did the same thing. The income which multi-level marketing can generate is mind-boggling. Are you starting to see why so many people are getting so excited about multi-level marketing? Are you starting to see why the experts are predicting that multi-level marketing will be the primary method of product distribution in this country by the end of the decade? It's the only business I know of where you can start part-time out of your home and within a couple of years be totally financially independent. And when I say totally financially independent, I don't just mean that you will be making a lot of money. If you build a successful multi-level marketing organization, you will not only be making the big money, but more importantly, you will have time to enjoy it. You will not be tied to a machine or a desk 40 hours per week. If you don't feel like working, you want to take the day off, you're free to do so. You are your own boss. If you want to take off on a month-long vacation, it won't matter. The people in your business will still be working, and you will still be getting paid. If something happened and for some reason you could not work for a few months, the people which you have enrolled will still be building their businesses, and your income will continue to grow. That's what I call financial security. If you ever wanted to get into business for yourself, if you ever dreamed of being wealthy, multi-level marketing is the vehicle which can take you there. Multi-level marketing can mean total freedom for you and your family.